Meh. 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 Okay, that works. Had to reset everything because computer Windows did an update, and that means all of the sound settings were off. But anyway, we're in. Gonna wait for things to load up as usual. So I've done the stages, well, most of them. There's a couple that I still need to do. I think there's only 2 left, I'm not sure. But I did those just so I can get ahead, and then I'm gonna try to do 5, this, 6, and 7 today. And then that'll leave those for tomorrow or Monday, but I'm not sure. That's the general idea anyway. Hello, Knight. Pop out the chat because I forgot that I needed to use that for some reason. Because, you know, logic. I think that works. There we go. But yeah, so we finished off at stage 4, so I'll be continuing from 5, hopefully till 7. It depends on how long it takes. I might even try 8, depending on how long or short these stages are. And then the next stream will be the rest, because I'm assuming there's only 2 more stages that I need to do. And I might leave the boss stage anyway, just for the sake of it. Hello, Scarf. Hello, Mr. Cat. Please, Mr. Cat was my father. Do you enjoy the how did you enjoy the event mechanics for your offline tries? Pretty good, actually. I liked using the mechanics for most of it. I've just started doing the secondary mechanic, and it's okay. I'm finding 9 a little bit difficult because those ones with the big push. 2 game stages, 1 story stage. Okay. But yeah, so we're going to go with 5 then. So, Sonata Autumn. A meeting then desolation. Betrayal then regret. Autumn's monologue. That would be 4. A standoff. It was meant to be a sudden assault. The casters of Kreis... Oh god. Heldenschwert would disguise themselves as musicians and infiltrated the Witch King's spire, while the armies of Erdenher and Sturmland would stay hidden outside through their enchantments. No one dared underestimate the Witch King's power, but the battle was nonetheless harder than anyone could have imagined. The army outside the spire was discovered by the Einwald Imperial Guard. The first wave of casters all died at its base, while the second wave was swallowed by the endless staircase. The only ones who made it to the throne were the twins, Grimacht and her sister, I can't remember, Laserlet. I'm sorry. I should probably try to remember it, but I can never remember how to pronounce it. Hello, Raphael. Also, hello, Speedy. Black and red had always been the Urtica colours, but from the entrance to its deepest innards, the spire was almost completely void of black tiles. House Urtica's secret chambers lies underground, and it's very close to Sonata Spire, so we can make our way down through it. Herr Fremont has already left, and we must catch up. 9. Is something the matter? Go no further. The Witch King's Imperial Guards is here. Oh, Guard, rather. You will die. The Imperial Guard? What do you mean? The folks from Heldenstadt never expected you to win. They simply wanted the Sturmland armies to keep the Imperial Guard at bay while the twins climbed the spire. In their plans, all of you were meant to die. The Witch King, the twins, everyone. Tell your father and Ernst that the Hochbergs should not be buried here, not in the spire. Rainer, my father is dead. I'm the reason that you're the only survivor. I'm the one who took away your freedom. Please, look at me. I'm Viviana. Did you perhaps mistake me for my father? Leave now. Leave Ludwig's Universitat. Grimmit's envoy has passed on the Kaiserin's order. As an Emperor's voice... Oh, Jesus. Oh, the last one we read was number 4. Man, I have such short... Yeah, so I did two stages first stream, 2 stages second stream. Anyway, Grimach's envoy has passed on the Kaiserin's order. As an Empress's voice, you have more than enough grounds to terminate your mission. And to prevent the voices from going out of sync, Liselet won't punish you for it either. Do you hear the commotion around us? It sounds familiar. This is practically a battlefield. My duties prevent me from escorting you out, but I can at least use my melody to forge a path through the chaos for you. 9. I will never forget how quiet and peaceful it was when we entered the campus. The young students' faces still had hope for what was to come. I can't let them become sacrifices to this conflict. While I'm nowhere near as strong as you are, or Herr Fremont, I'd like to help as many of these weaker than me as I can. That's right, we finished off with a student breaking Ebenholz out. Herkumstorn, there we go. A secret lies ahead. Liselet said that when Das Kaiserinnenfest comes to an end, you'll have another chance to choose. But once you've gazed upon the country's darkest, most hidden secret, all your... Oh, is it buffering? Please no. Doesn't seem to be on my end. All your other choices will immediately evaporate. I expected as much. Bitrate holding strong. But while I long for freedom, I can't very well turn my back on people suffering right in front of me. Ironic, isn't it? You're just like your father. Yeah, I know. I've always known the kind of man he was. Man, can your internet stop scaring me? Okay. What's going on? Why are there so many people underground? Are they charged inside? It's not just Sonata Spire either. The Scholar's Spire next door too. There are students everywhere. Stop them all. Don't let them block the stairs. Or we can't chase... Who did that? No idea, there's too much going on. Can't make anything out. Witch King's remnants. Listen. Listen to the extreme chaos, as well as to the only melody that can be found within it. That is Herkovshorn's sigh. The final sound our king left upon this land. Yeah, it is a cool looking mask. The Supreme Spire, whose dark shadow on the ground causes all to shudder. Those who do not wish to be engulfed in darkness paddle their arms and climb the staircase leading up. A pitch-black will hangs over the throne in silence, awaiting inquiries from other souls. Those who hide behind the curtains regret the demise of love. Those who lead the charge in others' stead ponder the meaning of heroism. Those who wade through the sea of their fallen comrades' blood lament the price of their sacrifice. All of them now gather at the far ends of this spire staircase to witness the birth of this melody. Its name, Der Tod des Hexenkönigs. Wait, wasn't that plural? It's the Witch King's army. They're charging toward me. Casters pouring in through catastrophes. Originium piercing entire cities. Help, I don't want to die, but I might as well. Please, burn me to ashes. I don't want to be crumpled into a living ball of flesh. How could you set yourself ablaze, you idiot? Oh, it was Death of the Witch King. Okay, I don't remember there being an S in it, so I thought it might have been plural. 9. Everyone here has gone mad. This sound, the pipe organ, are the Witch King's remnants performing? All of us are under the influence of their illusions. Who's there on the podium? All this blood, all these corpses. But who is it lying in the blood? Grimmach, Lazerle. God, I don't even remember the name now. Oh. Am I looking at Harry Potter spells in the chat at the moment, or is that just a random language, and in which case I'm so sorry. Laserlet, there we go. For some reason I tried to say Laserlet and then it just sort of bleh out. Oh, hello, Red. It's you, the wicked twins. The rumours were true, weren't they? Your souls were cooked up by Sarkaz arts, and your blood moulded from the ambitions of traitors. You killed Leithanien's true king, and took over her throne. You two were born to destroy this country. You're wrong. Grimmach may be cruel, but she's not evil. And who are you? Another Empress's voice? A puppet carrying out the twins' will? 9. She wouldn't let me become one. But I'm alive because of Grimmach. Grimmach, not Grimmach. I'm starting to... eventually I'm going to end up calling her Grimace. You know, the thing from McDonald's. I want to help her. I want to... Anyone who accepts a monster's reward becomes a monster themselves. Look at all this. Look how far Leithanien has fallen because of you people. Aspire, this school. Did you keep Ludwig's University out around only to only to impersonate us true Leithaniens? To pretend you still had the decency to respect tradition? I've had enough. I'm sick of the Empress's voices showing up at our lectures. I'm sick of the salons incapable of anything other than empty praise. Our history, our knowledge, and our arts are all long dead, murdered. So we may as well die together. I'll kill all of you. What are these arts? Why can't I block them? No, is that a fist? What a fucking dork. Michael's eyes suddenly widen. More and more people rush towards the Nutter Spire by the minute, joining the fray as the music continues. Many of them set down their wands, choosing instead to use their fists, legs, and teeth. Is this still the Leithanien he knows? All the rhetorical tricks and combat tactics he learned. Even Originium arts have lost their effectiveness. Aside from cowering under his shield, there is nothing he can do. Right now, he is no different from the young boy he was when he had just left his hometown and arrived at Zwillingstürme. Please, I beg you. Lisle, I'll do anything. Please spare me. No, don't hurt me. Grimmage, Grimmage. Please stand. Oh, who? Raise your shield and face it to your left. Okay. Help me hold this person up. A Gendermere? Who is he? I don't know his name, but he is one of Loris Borden's subordinates. He was attempting to blow my head up with art. And you still saved him? The third sculpture shattered. He was merely carrying out his duties. I see no reason to harm him. These men may be under the influence of art, losing their reason to the most intense emotions buried deep within their hearts. Fighting them would be inefficient. I suggest instead quickly rendering them unconscious, as I have been doing. So this entire time, you've been knocking people out while making your way through the crowd? I have also attempted to place them in a corner to ensure they won't be stepped on or struck in melee. Danke then, for not clobbering me the moment you saw me then. I do not require thanks. Mika Wolf, you may be young, but mentally you are much stronger than most adults. I believe that as long as someone is available to provide you a hint, you will never lose yourself into these illusions. It's not necessarily the case for everyone else. Although I've yet to receive confirmation, if it were Arturia's music that caused this chaos, then the abnormal behaviour will continue until we end her performance. I'll leave this place to you, Mika Wolf. Or is it Micah? I don't know, I can never remember how to say it. Call me Michael. I must continue ascending, Michael. This sound is very familiar. The staircase outside must be as chaotic as it was 23 years ago. Panic, anxiety, fear, rage, all these emotions caused by that non-existent spire. The Genesis spire standing at the heart of Leithanien. When its sound can once again be heard far and wide, what sort of music will it finally have in store for us? How did all these Death Eaters get here? Herkenstorn, our one and only king. Your magnificence props up the spire, and your radiance shrouds the land. Your soul shines eternal, and your art will never fade. All of Leithanien's wisdom and elegance gather before you. Your luminance and greatness are the pillars of her success. Lift your heads, all ye who prostrate on the land before him. Couldn't you have chosen a better word? I know it's the correct word, but still. Gaze upon our king's accomplishments, his glory. At last, the day has finally arrived. 2 decades I've dreamt of walking up those long stairs and standing before his very throne. Fortunately, fate provided me the enchantments you left on the Goldenezgazat. It's always difficult to say. Today, very soon, your final melody will be performed. Herkenstorn, Leithanien's most supreme ruler. Allow me to once again seek an audience. Allow me to seek your forgiveness. Good boy, Franz. I apologize. I had no choice but to knock you out. Does your head still hurt? I would have thought you'd have plenty of questions for me. Huh. Yeah, that's the look. You're in pain, but unwilling to give in. Even lying in sludge, you'd still look upon your betters with scorn. My betters? All I see is a flock of madmen putting on a show. One day you'll be able to speak German, oh god. Your ramblings are even less worth listening to than the noise in my head. You believe us insane, and that we've mistaken you for the Witch King, and so we repent and kneel before you. What a shame. Even I had hoped that you could truly become him. If only our original experiment had succeeded. If only we'd found the way to perform the voice of mundane right from the start. Then, neither you nor the other children would have suffered so. It was you? And to think I was going to protect you. You're coughing up blood. I almost wish my blood really were imbued with evil power. Then I could have at least burnt away that deceitful mask you're wearing. Ah, apparently he's wearing a mask. Unless he just means lying. Oh yeah, just lying, I guess. But I haven't told you a single lie. Hello, Tor. When we first met, you'd yet to learn to walk. All you can do was sit in your mother's lap. I mean, let's be honest, this guy's doing well for his age. Considering he looks almost the same as Evan Holt. Was she also a remnant of the Witch King? Is that what you wanted to ask? Are you worried that your birth itself was some sort of evil ritual? 9. Quite the opposite, but you wish it were, don't you? You want your entire life to have been a conspiracy, through and through. That way, you'd feel comfortable despising it. Why did I pronounce despising that way? Despising it. But that doesn't make sense, my dear Franz. Your mother was a respectable woman. She was a descendant of the Utikas, part of the Witch King's bloodline. So to others, she was almost by definition one of his remnants. Before she died, she entrusted you to a friend, an old servant of the Witch King, and to protect you, he too was killed by the Empress's voice. Would you scorn them as well, even though they truly loved you? So after taking away my love, now you tell me I don't deserve to hate either. You want me to be nothing more than an empty husk, all the better to squeeze that old fart into me. Just try. The Witch King's whispers, his robes, his crown. What else is there? Don't worry, my child. When Herculesthorn's power arrives, he will end your cruel fate and heal you of your scars and pain. I thought I told you to let him go. So you chased us after all. It must have been hard to make it past all the enchantments outside, no? Oh, knowing this guy, he probably just walked through them all, like just constantly bashed his head against whatever shields were in place. This is my responsibility, and I don't give up. I'm surprised you were able to cleave through my defensive enchantments. I sharpen my sword with my arts every day. I make sure that it's as solid as my will. Your sword. It has a special enchantment that specifically targets traditional Leithanien arts. Did the professor teach you that? Has he always been prepared to make an enemy of Leithanien? The old man's never been one to pick his enemies, and neither do I. Our enemies crawl out of the shadows on their own. Just like you, Gerard. Or is it Gerhard? Because it's either Gerard or Gerhard, or... I don't know. Because there's also the English way of pronouncing it too, and I just never understand which one's which. I never expected to point my sword at someone who was once my ally. The latter one is close. The latter one was Gerhard, right? Gerhard, I don't know. We don't have to be enemies, Lessing. The mayors have served the Uticas for generations. As long as you're willing to stand on our side and help Franz, there will always be a place for you by the throne. The throne? All I see is a musty old chair. My grandfather, my parents, all of them have been held hostage by that chair for far too long. Why should I repeat the same mistakes and bind myself to it again? Well said. Those unwilling to be bound by the past will always try to seek out a different fate. Like you, and like me. The concert master has started the performance. It's almost time. No one can stop the advent of Hircumthorn anymore. There was no S this time. Ooh. Ooh. But Hircumthorn isn't the one sitting on that throne. That's an awesome piece of art, not gonna lie. I really like his face in this. Kirito time. He's never going to live down the Kirito allegations. His name is Ebenholz, and it's my duty to bring him back with me. Oh, music. As long as I live, nothing will stop me from reaching that battered chair. Too bad the one voiced by Kirito is... oh, really? It doesn't matter how many men you have. Come at me. He really just said, come have a go if you think you're hard enough. Zasvacha. The melody has begun. Not even you can stop its flow. Perhaps not. Your sword is reverberating. It's useless, Gazaswatcher. You may be able to chain down a single man's mind, but 100, 1,000, your melody will be drowned in chaos. Much like how the Gazaswatcher were unable to stop the melee at the foot of the Witch King's spire 23 years ago. If so, I will kill chaos itself. Man flies into the Immaterium. His longsword pierces not his enemy's chest, but instead the ground beneath them. A golden radiance surges from the blade, drowning out even the Gazaswatcher's armor, then dashes toward the sky to form a webbing the color of the setting sun, enveloping Sonata Spire within it. All sounds within reach of his art were drowned out, leaving nothing but the solemn melody reverberating in the air. A golden curtain. Those arts should take at least 10 Gazaswatcher to cast. How did you manage it all on your own? And dead. The harmony of Guldenezgazat, that is very difficult to pronounce, there's way too many vowels in that word, is inviolable. Today, no one outside Ludwig's Universitat will hear a single discordant note. I swear by my flesh, blood, and soul, Not a single remnant of the Witch King will leave this spire alive. You and your art must be extinguished here. The melody's changed again. Jihad. Took you long enough, Professor. I'm sure killing us Leithanien casters would be a simple matter for you. But as always, you're unwilling to dirty your own hands. How many times do I have to tell you? Us liches are just the keepers of the Palace of Knowledge. That makes a lot more sense. They don't all need that stuff, those things that the other lich woman has. We bring our wisdom to the different races to advance the development of art, but we never interfere with the country's own affairs. That was the court of the Lich King's contract with your ancestors, and it is the Lich's creed. I understand all too well. A group of Sarkaz living in Leithanien's most ancient spire, the seat of her power. No Leithanien would willingly accept that truth. That got rid of my theory about what that woman's stuff was, you know, connected to her chest. I assumed that might have been something to do with them being liches, but I guess it's not. Either that or his one is more subtle, I don't know. I'm quite jealous of you, you know. Even against Herkenthorn, all you did was provide the enchantment that moulded those twins. You didn't need to bear the responsibility of changing history, nor did you stain your hands with the blood of your closest friend. I don't get what you're thinking at all. Years ago, you're the one who tried to convince me to stop Herkenthorn, but now you're mingling with these third-rate wannabes. You're the one who tried to, I think was probably what was meant to say there. Yeah, because I changed. And you're the one who changed me. You had me research the Golden Nizgzat. I keep forgetting the Z in that word. And think on Leithanien's history. And I did exactly as you asked. But the deeper I got into my research, the more I despaired. Herkenthorn's accomplishments were simply too dazzling. He resolved the Syracusan problem and saved Leithanien when it was on the verge of breaking apart. He crushed Corsica and... Corsica won? And prevented us from becoming a Gaulish vassal state. Oh, Corsica the First, maybe, is probably what it meant. Only through his presence have we thwarted every existential threat to the country again and again. Yeah, okay, the Emperor Gaul. Okay, that makes sense. I forgot the name. I recognise Corsica. I think it's been mentioned before, unless I'm thinking of a different game. I might be thinking of Hi-Fi Rush, actually, because the woman in that's called Corsica. Hello, Code. We had such a great man on the throne, and we killed him. When did I ever tell you to read up on how great Herkenthorn was? Besides, what does his greatness have to do with him killing so many Sarkaz and Leithaniens alike, turning the country into a smoking hot mess and plugging his ears to everyone else's opinions? Shame what they did to that game studio. Yeah, I know, it's absolutely bloody awful. Corsica should have been mentioned in chapter 13. That might have been where I heard it recently. I had you study the Golden Nizgzat because I wanted you to have a more open-minded outlook, not to pore over every trivial growing pain every nation goes through. Hardships happen, then everyone goes back to their lives. But somehow you ended up caught up in this nonsense. How can you even consider this when so many have died? Just ask the people who run Vox in Spain. Because I can't see them, Professor. I'm not like you, a sarcasm with control over even death itself. When we die, that's it. We become a speck of dust on this land forever. The dead can never feel my hatred. All those years ago, I was the one who persuaded them to fight. I sent them to their deaths in the Witch King's Spire. If that battle had never happened, he wouldn't have died, and neither would they. You idiot! That's why you want to resurrect him? You can't possibly think that, when you do see him, he's going to praise you for all this, or even comfort you. He wasn't some kindly old grandfather who sang nursery rhymes to dumb kids. He wouldn't even spare you a glance. He'd treat you as a speck of dust dirtying his floor. You still don't understand a thing. A selfish and cowardly man like me. Everything I do to seek my own forgiveness. I think it's a champagne brand, I'm not sure. Oh, it might be Frasianet, which is a Cava brand. That thing you're holding, the missing golden Zizgar. Ah! The thing! I don't care. The MacGuffin. It's a MacGuffin. It's always a MacGuffin. More precisely, it's a lingering trace of Herkenthorn's power. He left in the MacGuffin. Well, I suppose if it does something, it's technically a Chekhov's gun. You want to use his arts by force? Don't be stupid, Gerard. You can't do it. Just a shiny piece of music. I've come too far not to. I don't want to regret this second time. Red. The Soviets are here. A flame rises, so black and so red that it seems drenched in blood. The walls of the chamber tremble violently, originium crystals sprout and grow from every crevice between the brick and tile, even piercing the ground's foundation. Ebonhalls. Hurry, Jihad's going to destroy this whole school. Witch King. The voice of mundane. It's boiling in my head. He'll be free soon. That's not the voice of mundane reacting. It's not? I don't know who first got it wrong, or maybe Jihad has given up on summoning him through you entirely. I feel like I've kind of skipped ahead. I don't know why though, because we finished it stage 4 last time. This seems like such a big jump though. I hope I didn't accidentally click a stage. But Herkenthorn's power isn't originating from your mind. You aren't the key melody here. Arturia. Hello, Les. You're a little later than expected. Convenient timing. Is it because you were helping the gendarmerie? You've grown soft. What happened to the executor who would stop at nothing to fulfill his mission? The 4th sculpture. You aren't playing. You must be shocked, aren't you? I could press skip, but I might as well just continue on anyway, because I feel like this is going to be towards the end of this cutscene now anyway. It's been on for quite a while. Like I've told you, you don't need to rush to find me. Until my real audience arrives, I'm just a listener myself. You aren't the source of the illusions the men below are experiencing. I'm a little hurt. We've been competing against each other for how long now? But you still confuse the truth my music draws out with the illusions a con man would use. Besides, haven't you noticed? The people trapped in this spire have always hated each other. They've never stopped fighting. Isn't laying the blame for this chaos entirely on mind-affecting arts also a form of running away? The Leithanien affairs are not within the purview of the Notarial Hall. My primary targets are limited to you and your accomplices. Who is manipulating the sculptures to protect you? An avid listener of mine. You arrived a bit too late, just a little earlier, and you could have also had a front row seat to Der Tod der Hexenkönigs. The fifth. Arturia, I'm well acquainted with every crime you have committed. Your arts have affected a variety of regions and social classes. But you have never actively participated in political conflict. Do you remember my mother's funeral? How I freed the emotions everyone had kept hidden in their hearts. It was the first time I realised how easily others fall into my melodies. But that brought me no joy. Quite the opposite, I was disappointed. The powerful emotions should give rise to more than just chaos. Emotions are meant to bolster our souls, to allow us to overcome any obstacle, even our predestined extinction. Okay, it's in the manga, interesting. Which is why I came here in my search. The sixth. If you're looking to perform for the Witch King, then you'll never succeed. He perished long ago. Your melodies have no effect on the dead. It would seem you're a little mistaken about this performance. The shadow over the throne was dispersed, and the twin heroes walked out of the spire to the adoration of the masses, while those who stayed put are still waist deep in the emotions they felt when they witnessed the mountain crumble before them. Der Tod des Hexenkönigs isn't about the Witch King. He was never the main character of this piece, rather. Why is there more? Okay. Damn, they almost look like brothers. What happened? Why are we here? Ugh, my hand hurts. Why am I bleeding? The stairs are shaking. Is a spire coming down? What's with the black fire burning from the ground? Help! Help! These are Herkenthorn enchantments. You've all come to your senses. We need to get out of the spire now. You're awake too? Candlelight. Candlelight? Ah, speak of the devil. Here, this way. But the flames! The whole Sonata Spire is enveloped by these black flames. The power of simping saved him. Yes. I will open a path. With your candle's flame. Pay attention to the shadow it casts on the wall. Fun fact, black flame does exist. But I think you need special things for it. Like, I think you need, like, UV light and such. The shadows. Tearing the black flames apart. Yeah, this is the true form of my art. You must be disappointed. They're not nearly as beautiful as you thought, right? Oh, that's right. She actually does shadows, or something like that, if I remember correctly. There's also white transparentish flames. Oh yeah, it is pretty much completely transparent. It's hard to describe really, but there's times where someone has like been set on fire, and I think it's is it methane or not methanol fire or something like that, but it you basically don't see the fire. It's pretty much invisible. Like someone would suddenly start, you know, panicking and it's just like, you know, trying to put something out and you just don't see it. If I remember, different colours burn a bigger depending on colour. There's two things that affect colour with fire normally. Either the type of thing that's being burnt or the temperature. So obviously the higher temperature, it goes into the blues and then goes invisible. So roaring flames on a Bunsen burner are almost completely invisible. But you still see the blue at the bottom. Nitromethane. Okay, thank you. But Obviously, colours also change it as well. So I think copper was like a greenish colour? Oh, I can't quite remember. It's been ages since I've done the colour tests. But anyway, if I remember correctly, white phosphorus burns very similar to magnesium and thermite. Like, it has that sort of shining burn. Which is why you see loads of videos where people are saying, oh, this country's been using white phosphorus, and then they turn out it actually wasn't, it was just incendiaries. But anyway. I mean, white phosphorus is an incendiary, but I mean, like, you know, a weaker incendiary. No, mein Damen. This is stunning. I keep forgetting, you probably do pronounce the E, don't you? Damn, without pronouncing the E would be French. Ah, fuck it, he's Gaulish now. A fate worse than death. You don't often see arts that can rival Hercumshorn's undying black flames. I can't defeat them, but as long as something truly exists, it casts a shadow. The most I can manage is make use of this principle to ever so briefly create a chance to survive. Damn it, yeah. Damn it. Is something the matter? I was just thinking that I was your enemy until a moment ago, yet you aren't blaming me. Why should I? You said you're not an Emperor's voice. Empress's voice, rather. Okay, apparently the twin Empresses are now men, according to me. And I have yet to formally enter the Kaiserinnen Spire myself. The Kaiserins. Oh my god, I keep using the wrong words. Kaiserinnen was a different thing. Here you can just be you, and I can just be Viviana. We aren't carrying out the Kaiserin's orders. We're simply helping out the poor souls struggling in this music. So please, take the students and make your way out as fast as you can while they've recovered their mobility. I can still hold on a little longer. I can see golden light outside. The Gesatzwache curtain has already enveloped this place. He could destroy the spire at any moment. I trust that Herr Rainer will make the appropriate decision. What about you, then? My candle flame will extinguish sooner or later. Hopefully it chooses the most meaningful moment too. Frau Hochberg, Viviana, go, Michael. Please, take care of yourself and these young students. Each of you has a future that someone like me could never dream of. We really did just randomly go into the last book of Harry Potter, didn't we, with the school fight? We've got Death Eaters fighting in the school. I should record every time you say Gesatzwache and Rise of Video. I do pronounce it differently each time, don't I? This is the place. Surround the spire. Casters from the Kaiserinnen Spires. Ah, hello. That's right, Brandt. Haven't I already said that? These are the Kaiserin's orders. We are to assist you in resolving the problem here. Good. Use your arts. Join me as an accompaniment. Yeah. I will tighten up the curtain. I don't know where the up came from, but it's there now. I suppose, yeah. I think it's because sometimes I don't pronounce the harshness of the T, so it does end up becoming Vasha instead of Vacha. Because I struggle with the ch and t together, so I just, yeah. No, Herr Rainer. I was about to say Hein. No Highness. Step aside, envoy of Grimmage. Will you continue to stand in our way? Your earlier behaviour alone is reason enough to suspect you of colluding with the Witch King remnants. Lord Washer. Just washes aside the enemies. Anyway, there are still innocents inside. I see the students have all been evacuated, and Herr Fremont wouldn't die so easily. But the Sancta and Viviana... Viviana's still inside. She's trapped by the back flames. There, by the black flames, and stayed behind to save me and the students. Brandt, this is our best chance to eliminate the threat. Once the ensemble is complete, your strength will completely annihilate the Spire. Viviana will perish too. It was her decision to enter the battlefield. Werner gave his life for Leithanien. We can't let his one and only daughter follow in his footsteps. You promised Werner that you'd save her. We both did. Have you forgotten your oath? Have you forgotten your oath, Rainer? I don't know why I put a V there. That was with an R, not a W. It seems even in German I end up putting a W where the R is. The blades and arts of a Gesatzvater belong only to the MacGuffin, the Golden Gesetz, and to Leithanien. It doesn't matter how Herkushorn treats his subjects, he is Leithanien's rightful ruler as recognized by the Golden Gesetz. If you choose to fight alongside House Hochwald... Where did I get Hochwald from? That's a place in Germany, isn't it? House Hochberg. You will be abandoning your duties as a Gesatzvater. How about once the event is over, you put every German word into Google Translate, set it to German, and have it read it. Well, one more step and you'll be making an enemy out of all of us. Brandt, why didn't you come save us? We grew up together. We were like brothers. I know you will loathe the Witch King too. You despise his tyranny over Sturmland's citizens, and you hate how he turned our homeland into a battlefield and a testing ground. The Battle of Four Emperors was years ago, and the skies above Sturmland are still filled with catastrophe clouds formed by originium shards. Many of our children are doomed to be born with these accursed stones. Why can't we resist? Why can't we make him pay the price? Is it because the Golden Gazette dictates that he's the ruler? And that we are his attendants? 9. It isn't right for us to be born that way. If your power is merely dependent on some inviolable will, there we go, does that make your will, the Gesatzvater's will, fundamentally a lie? It's that lie that's forcing you to run away from your decision, as well as you from your remorse towards the dead Hochbergs. Brandt Reiner. Was an error stage somewhere? Probably, even though I've already finished it. Make your decision now. Viviana. His body wobbles once, almost unnoticeably. Then, small cracks start appearing in the golden curtain. Resonance. At last, I got you. The 7th. All the sculptures have been destroyed. You no longer have a means to resist. Just a moment longer, my dear Federico. Do you hear that? Brand Reiner. His soul is finally opening up to my melody. His strong will is finally broken free of his restraints, and the surge of emotions will lead him to make the decision he will regret the least. This is what I've been waiting for, the truest climax of this piece. Ah, yes, I see. It seems Herr Reiner cast Nuke. Hello, cat. The budget is up. I feel like this entire event would nuke the budget that they have for the anime. Like, we're probably never going to get oh, what's it called? OVP? OPV? For this event, just because it would cost too much. A melody so impassioned that it's... OVA, not OVP. What's OVP? Oh, I don't know. That it approaches piercing, rings out from the strings of Arturia's cello. As though motivated by the music, black originium flames rise from the deepest depths of the earth and tear asunder the surface mere inches away. Cast Fireball 9th level. Just tell her she can't park there. Should just make an Arknights movie out of this. Yeah, honestly. I feel like they really should go back and do the events as animes. Maybe like when they've done a few more of the, you know, the main story, I guess. Maybe when they've finished Act 1, they could maybe do some OVAs and then start Act 2. Yeah, I read a bit. The Witch King's musicians standing guard at the foot of the spire all walk single file into the black flames, chanting even as they are incinerated into ash. Huh, interesting. I think after Season 3 they can do side stories. Yeah, exactly, because Season 3 would be 7 and 8, won't it? Oh, there's a date now? Oh, I haven't seen it yet. The very spire that holds up the sky is the inevitable, indispensable, and eternal pillar. Now rise. Something bores out of the earth. Flesh. Oh, that tower is rising up. I thought the tower was being blown up. Something bores out of the earth's flesh. It's a high spire, as opposed to a sober spire. It bears a red tint to its blackness, a spiral shape, and a strange sharpness. We have to one cheese. The long-lost Witch King spire stands atop the land once more. So this is not a mobile platform, otherwise that's going to be a lot of damage. Yeah! Now that you mention it, I'm assuming this very much is a regular city. Although that sounds disastrous for a capital city to just be still. Then again, these are very powerful arts users. Maybe they have a way of, you know, making catastrophe clouds disappear or something. Or like redirect them. It's like the city itself got excited. Okay, thank God it was stage 5. That was a massive jump in story from stage 4 to stage 5. What the fuck? Damn, these Fortnite buildings are getting out of hand. To be fair, the majority of Sargon is also not nomadic cities. Yeah, but isn't Sargon a little bit more primitive? Or am I just being prejudiced based on the few places we've been to? Bitch of creative mode. I mean, honestly, yeah, he just erected a spire. Alright, and that was the beginning of stage 5. That wasn't even the end of stage 5. Guess what? What? What the hell is that? The Witch King's Spire? Is that the Witch King's Spire? Most places have a non-mobile settlements that take us still rather new. Oh, okay. You're an adorable laugh. Oh, shush, cat. I like the violin. The Witch King is back. That terrifying tyrant, that evil caster, is back. Stop, don't turn back, don't push. Where would you even run? This is the punishment that the great Herkenthorn is lying down on us. Burn, burn. What are you doing? You're attracting the flames. It's all over anyway. Why even bother lying to ourselves anymore? Pretending to have dignity. But put out the fire. Put it out now. Information. Ooh, that was... Damn. That that bit kind of got me there, where it just glitched out. No, it's coming this way. The entire school is... There's no stopping it. The black flames engulf everything in their wake. Laughter, sobbing, nothing is spared. See now, this is what Voldemort wishes he was. As the sound of thunder ripped through the air, the thick layers of clouds above descend lower and lower, almost becoming one with the strange spire before them. Some of the older students remember the history books they happened to have read deep inside the spire. The ones they wanted unburned. The ones that went unburned, rather. They said that during the battle of the four emperors, Herkenthorn brought in a Reginium storm that ripped apart the skies above the battlefield, swallowing an entire Gaulish landship fleet at once. And now, at the very same location, the remains of a terrifying rift deep in the catastrophe clouds, the screams of the sleepless dead reverberating within. I wonder if Victoria based their, catastrophe creation thingy-majig tower on this. I can't remember if it was ever mentioned. Voldy's a loser compared to the Witch King. Absolutely. Also, the Witch King is way more handsome. Has he been seen? Have we seen him yet? Or does he show himself in this? And now at the same... Oh yeah, I read a bit. How did we get here? I have no idea. This was literally the stage after the one we had finished last stream. We see him later in the story? Yes. We did in Leithanien history vid. Oh. Maybe I missed that then. Or... No, I've seen it. Huh. I must have just forgotten. Heck of Watcher. The curtain isn't going to hold. The students are all trying to escape. We can't stop them. Everyone has seen the spire. Sooner or later, the news will spread. Should we... 9. Lower the curtain. Concentrate all your energy on dealing with the black flames. Why is my PC heating up over this game? It's not working. This assault was more than enough to decimate a vanguard of Casimiesian campaign knights. Herkenthorn's enchantments are not so easily removed. Oh, I love that bit there where the music just glitches a bit. Yeah, these flames are so hot it's warming up my PC. As the legend goes, the way he used arts was fundamentally different from other casters. During the Battle of the Witch King's Spire years ago, only the Kaiserinnen were able to perform their melodies unimpeded. Unimpeded, rather. I just missed a letter there, just unimpeded. All other casters' arts failed. Aspire. We must lay siege to it, and take care of the problem at its source. Brand, do you hear that? The lightning has stopped. It's here. We're saved. Everyone defend. The clouds begin to crack. There is no sound, no shaking, and no omen of any kind. A bolt of purple-black lightning simply crashes down from high above. Likewise, it is not accompanied by any kind of flashy explosion or shocking roar. Okay, this is Grimness. It merely pierces the spire's body and crushes the seemingly impenetrable tower, layer after layer from top to bottom. By the time the first piece of falling rubble reaches the ground, the reborn Witch King Spire has already ceased to be, as though it had never existed in the first place. Again, stage 5! Finally, the earth starts trembling, as though reacting to the spire's fall. Behind the wall of arts conjured by the Imperial casters, the crowd stands in terror, with their eyes wide open. At the highest point of the ruins, they see a figure holding a sword emitting purple-black sparks of lightning. There she is. Although she is not wearing a sword. Hercumthorn's shadow will no longer be permitted to shroud Leithanien soil. Especially not that of a fake. Oh, so hello, Merwin. Hope you're starting to feel a bit better. Her sword is at her side. Yes, but it said like she was... Oh, okay, never mind. I know, I don't expect them to change the sprites, but still. We're certainly dealing with a fake, but it's really quite remarkable how easily his expectations were shattered. A shame she's just like her blonde twin. Their souls were moulded by art's enchantments, and I'm afraid there are few ripples that I can perform with. It's over. What your plans were for the Zazwatcher are now irrelevant. You have failed. Is that so? Federico, you are as impatient as ever. The climax of a piece is never its end. Arturia spreads her arms and falls backwards into the air behind the railing. Then, the remains of a sculpture lifts her up, and she quickly raises even higher. I'll be waiting for you at the end of the stairs. You raise me up. Da, da, da. Anyway, what just happened? I know, right? What the fuck was all of that about? The chamber rose, and then I grabbed you and jumped. That's right, you jumped without hesitation, without even checking on your poor old grandfather. There's no way anything would have happened to you. You heartless little runt. I read that completely wrong the first time I saw it. That would have been a certain change in localization, wouldn't it? Grimace really didn't hold back with her sword. If I hadn't pulled you two out in time, you'd have been buried in the dirt alongside all those masked men. What about Jard? Is he dead? He ran. But he won't get far. His body can't withstand Hercumthorn's arts. He will collapse in no time, like an infected with rapidly deteriorating symptoms. Oh, there you are. So my body really cannot become the Genesis Horn's vessel. Miss Sound. Ah, hello, Herr Scholar. You were waiting for me. Correct, I visited the school just for you. If you don't mind me asking, would you be willing to allow my melody to accompany you as you reach the end of your life? How does that nation function? How does that nation function without elevators? I don't know. I certainly would not like to go up these stairs. Danke, to be a Leithanien, there is nothing more romantic than dying to the sounds of beautiful music. My only regret is that Grimace came too soon, and I didn't get to meet Herculeshorn. He didn't awaken, and there was no one to answer my question. If he was truly so great, then why was he killed by mere men like us? And why must I carry the burden of that decision? I mean, has it occurred to you that he is indeed a mere man? In the end, you remain tormented by regret. But, Herr Scholar, you have never truly been free. Why must you feel regret over past decisions? I'm not free. Your tattered, weary heart is now laid bare before me. I can feel everything you feel. On the night of the battle at the spire, your heart was filled with spite towards the tyrant. But aside from that, there was also doubt. Of course, the man I was about to kill, Herculeshorn, was the rightful ruler of Leithanien. Then, what planted the seeds of that emotion? You mean, what influenced me to think that? Are you implying that someone was telling me to look up to Leithanien's king? I visited many places and collected a variety of music. I found that although each of them has a unique style, they all share some commonalities in their origin, and Leithanien's in particular is the most classical of them all. This country was born from a movement. A melody blending together 10 tribes with different cultures. When language proves to be a barrier, music is the only means to communicate. But why is that? Why would different wills produce similar experiences from the same melody? Is there some kind of power binding both you and us? Right. Why do conflict and crisis always repeat in an endless spiral? Why is it so hard to change Leithanien? I know, your music is telling me that I've always known. It's just that the power, it keeps me from finding it. The answer is in my hands. My teacher never lied to me. The golden melody, Leithanien's will. All of us Leithaniens are trapped. So it's true. I've never really had a choice. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. Thank goodness. The scholar realizes that he is once again standing at the highest point of Ludwig's Universität. This is the first time in 23 years that he's earnestly gazed at the sunset outside. I'm still trying to think of how old he would be. Like, assuming he was at the very least a teen, that would make him 30 or something. If he was in his 20s, he'd be 40 something. He certainly ages well. The clouds are fluffy, and although they're completely soaked in blood, they yet maintain their original shapes. This is Leithanien's evening glow. Gerard Hoffman notices that his body and the golden glow, the whatever it's called, have fallen together on the spiral staircase, while his consciousness drifts out the window with the melody and dissolves into the clouds. Ah, he has never felt so free. Damn. I'm still going to blame Arturia, because she seems to have a habit of this seeming to be the case for almost every single person that gets influenced by her music. I'm guessing she's just attracted to these people. Stay quiet for a moment. I want to let his emotions linger at my fingertips for a little longer. I've heard that you call yourself an executioner. You've witnessed so many deaths, but have you ever truly touched the last bout of emotion that bursts forth at their final moments? I'd say those people are attracted to her for obvious reasons. True, but she seems to seek them out first, like they don't notice her. Like Reiner, for example, I don't even think he knows her. So I think she's to a certain extent drawn to them, and then they get drawn to her. Either simultaneously or her doings make them draw, but still, it's interesting. An executor is more concerned with the deceased's last testament. You make the living believe that their wills will be carried out even after death, while I allow their most splendid emotions to live on in music. Both of us substantiate the meaning of having lived. We just go about it in different ways. I am here to execute my mission and nothing more. I have no need to listen to a sinner's sophistry. Yeah. We're family, and haven't seen each other for so long. Can't you at least hold a proper conversation, Federico? Who's to say I won't die tomorrow? You intentionally put yourself in danger. It would not be entirely surprising if you did. I wouldn't find it surprising either. We're all bound to die. When we do, our bodies give nutrients back to the land and become part of a new life. This is the meaning of our flesh. It's the circle of life. It's the circle of life. Sorry. But what about the meaning of our wills? When our consciousness fades, they will return to chaos. So what separates the living from the dead? One person from another, and us from the sunset and the breeze. It's our emotions, Federico. If there is meaning to our lives outside of our bodies, if there truly is something that can resist the destined chaos, then it is only this very moment, all that I feel, and the melody transmuted from those feelings. That's why, as long as I still breathe, I can't stop playing. I am required to apprehend wanted criminals, but if necessary, I can also pull the trigger. Oh, I don't doubt that. It'll happen one day, and there is no doubt that it will be Federico Giallo who kills Arturia Giallo. But do you think that daylight can kill the dark night? Order can kill chaos, and reason can kill emotion? Layering metaphors cannot cover up the essential truth. You are a criminal, and I am an executor. I pursue you in order to fulfill the contract that is my duty. You believe uncertainty to be a kind of emotion. That's why you're always seeking answers through rational analysis. But it's not your rationality that's led you to me again and again, it's your confusion. You saw and heard it yourself. Today, countless lives were lost in chaos. If only you'd followed my advice and given up on me, instead lending your aid to that envoy of the Empress, With your skills and how sharp you are, you could have easily found the one hiding in the shadows, manipulating the chaos. But again and again you choose to prioritize looking for me. You are where my duty lies. I will not regret my decision. I know you won't. But look, now you've caught me. So, satisfy my curiosity, Federico. Do you feel no satisfaction right this very moment? Seize her. So you people came too. Recover the Golden Gazette as well. Arturia is my target. Federico Giallo, executor of the Lateran Curia's 5th Tribunal. It's extremely likely that the Sancta before you has committed what counts to the highest offence in Leithanien. She must come with us for our investigation. I thought the Gendarmerie was in charge of the upcoming inquest. It's the Kaiserin's orders to take Arturia. Does that mean you cannot guarantee Arturia will be dealt with according to the law? As I said, these are the Kaiserin's orders. I have sent a total of 27 explanatory letters in addition to repeating my mission objective with the now deceased officer in charge, Loris Borden. In that case, Frau Jonas, would it be possible for her executor to participate in Arturia's interrogation? Well, that's not part of my orders. To Leithanien, Arturia is the most dangerous criminal. No one is allowed to anywhere near her without Her Majesty's explicit permission. Then that includes you. What? Let's go. Will we meet again, Federico, before my consciousness fades away? Jonas, they call her the cruelest executor in Greenwich Spire. How did she get here so fast? Did Grimace... I'll talk to her. Her executor, don't you want to chase after them? If Leithanien can ensure that Arturia will never commit a crime again, my highest priority mission objective will be considered complete. However, as she said, I feel no satisfaction in this. It has become much quieter outside the spire, yet the black flames continue to burn. Viviana has forgotten which floor of the spire she is on. The spiral stairs all look the same. Her candlelight flickers a few times before finally going out. Frau Drost? Him? Why are you still here? I'm in pretty bad shape. At least, this way I won't be a bother to the kids. You were burned by the black flames. Half your body is... It's fine. I'm glad I got to see you again. By seeing you, I can at least confirm that I haven't turned into some kind of monster that walks even in death. The disaster's been averted, right? The Empress's voice. The Gesatzvater. They're all here, right? Are the Witch King's remains all dead? And the students safe? I suppose so. It's strange. I saw the captain just now. Loris Borden? He said I did pretty well, and did the Gendarmerie proud. Once the ceremony's over, my mother will get the Kaiserin's black gold medal. But that's only for those who've fallen. It's hopeless for me, right? I don't want to lie to you. Mein Dame, when I see you looking at me like that, it doesn't hurt so much anymore. Your candlelight is so warm. When I first got to Zwillingstürme, I nearly gave up. I couldn't keep up with how exhausting the training was day after day. Only when I saw that tiny light you held in the area arena rather, lighting up every one of my... He did not deserve to fall into eternal slumber on these spiral stairs. If he could have just a little more light, a little more warmth. Viviana knows that she is not a lighthouse, but she is capable of that much. Oh god. Wiedersehen. Wiedersehen? Ah. May this candlelight accompany you, as you drift into eternal slumber. Okay, until we see each other again. So basically until next time. Grimace's envoy said she's just up ahead. Step aside, Cora. Let me take care of the rubble here first. Let me do it. You've already... Wait, these footsteps. Viviana. Frau Lovenstein. Herr Rainer. Good. Mein Herr? Let him get some rest. Raising the curtain by force took its toll on his body. But he's still standing. He'd never let himself collapse in front of so many. Brandt's really worn himself out all these years. Before the battle, he saw me as my father. That's always weighed heavily on his mind. 23 years ago, Alf Hochberg suffered great losses at the Witch King's Spire, and because of his position as the Gewaltswatcher, Brand wasn't able to come to their aid in time. Because of that, Ernst, his closest friend, and the heir to the Hochbergs, perished in battle. That's also why your father Werner had to succeed him as Kurfürst. The remorse he felt toward Ernst and Werner has been eating away at his soul all this time. And today, when forced to choose between destroying Sonata Spire and serving you, he chose you. I never imagined. I knew he'd make that choice. I'd have done the same. I was so scared back there. I'm prepared to make any sacrifice if necessary, but you, not you. I'm glad we didn't lose you. I don't like either of them. They both give me death flags, and I don't like it. There's still half of a chapter to go. I'm one of the lucky ones. On my way here, I came across many who've passed away. I did my best, but I wasn't able to rescue everyone. The casters will figure out how to eliminate the black flames. The victims will be taken care of. Things will get better. They won't have suffered for nothing. This place will be completely different tomorrow. I'll make sure you get to see that for yourself, Viviana. I promise. What a beautiful sunrise. Barrier. We know a thing or two about your arts, meine Dame. Now, neither you nor your cello are capable of making a sound. You made up your mind. The voice of mundane. I've been dying to have someone take it away. If you've no plans to use it as a bomb, then be my guest. So you finally believe me? I admit I owe you an apology, and a word of thanks. If it wasn't for you, then I might not be Ebenholz right now, but some other thing. But please, spare me all this nonsense about trust or what have you. I'd rather not see you pounce on me and knock me out with your sword the moment I spit out the words "I trust you." She really said silence wrench. I wasn't planning to, for now. Well, that's nice. Someone's playing the cello. Hold on now. There better not be. They're mourning the victim for music. It was just like this when I first met Gerard. He told me that, through music, the wills of the dead are carried on through us. He was so quiet and gentle. I really thought he was... I'm an idiot, aren't I? I couldn't even see through their masks. I couldn't even see who was controlling my life. How I wish I could be more like... No matter how many obstacles he encountered, he never lost hope, he even smiled as he... Ah, Grider. His peace. What's wrong? Who's playing the cello up there? The dormitory isn't far, maybe a student? That's impossible. Calm down, we can't expose ourselves yet. It's exactly the same. How could it be the same? Eh? Oh, okay. For a moment I thought you somehow walked into this area. That'd be weird. The sky is blue and fine. The breeze lilts by in song. The river murmurs clear. Yeah, I remember this bit. My heart is filled with hope. Imagine Arturi having a remote-controlled cello. Where did you learn to play like that? Huh? Nothing special, really. Not your technique, you fool. Your emotions. Where did you learn to play this cello piece almost exactly like he did? No one else played like him. I checked over and over. After he died, I've been to so many places and listened to even more musicians play that same piece. Who was your teacher? Arturia. My teacher's name is Arturia. Is she a sancta? A sancta with very long hair who dresses plainly? Do you know her too? I saw her just today. She told me to keep practicing here, without worrying about the sounds outside. Oh right, I forgot Cryder was taught by us. Jesus. Without worrying about the sounds? That's Sancta. Is she a remnant of the Witch King too? No, that's impossible. She's very kind. Where is she? I need to see her. I need to question her myself. Another headache? To be fair, I kind of sort of tried to forget most of that event, so... Did you know Lessing? He and I... Everything in our lives was given to us by others. Our pain, our joy, our despair. So if even our hope... I don't know if I actually want that answer. cried it. Your eye, how out too much after it? Let's just say it took me a little while before I actually wanted to play Arknights again after it. Have you thought it through? Oh, what is there to think about? The school was burnt down by Herkenthorn's embers. I could miss it all I want, but that won't bring it back. I've forgotten. How long have I been in Leithanien? 500 years? Longer? When I first got here, there was nothing. No nomadic cities, no spires, no nobles. Back then, everyone lived in the forest by the lakes. They lit fires to eat and used rocks to shelter from the wind. To us, a few decades are more than enough for a city to rise and fall. A man to go from young to old, or a pair of close companions to have falling out and go their separate ways. That's right. It's been but an instant since this place went from Leithanien to Zwillingstürme. I wonder what the city will be called next. And when that lamb with the rotten luck and a brain full of nothing but melodies is taken care of, I'll fulfill my promise to you. After that, I think I'll take a stroll around town. And once that's done, we'll leave. Tell the nobles they can have a good night's sleep for once. I've already explained it to them long ago. Explain what? That liches aren't like vampires and don't get involved with military commission business. So they can rest easy that this place won't be the next Londinium. Do you really believe they simply don't understand, Grimace? And are you really so whimsically unaware of who stands behind those nobles that want to chase the liches out? You two can deal with the fallout afterwards. The liches are indeed stayed here far too long. Knowledge should never have taken the sides of any one nation or race. Well, that's kind of giving me an opinion as to what will happen with the liches in chapter 13 then, or beyond that, if they sort of have this stance of neutrality. Do you even know how many Leithanien terms are brats used in writing these days? It's absolutely outrageous. We should have left when Herkenthorn bought the farm. Bought the farm, there we go, yeah. This is just a belated farewell. The white-haired lich lifts his hand. As though having been granted permission, a large number of slender silhouettes appear beneath the setting sun. Perhaps they'd been standing there this whole time. They were simply masquerading as ordinary students and faculty. However, from this moment onwards, they are no longer concerned with how different they are from other Leithanians. The liches all raise their hands. Countless paper-thin strands of silk extend from their bodies and into the dark clouds up above. Then, a radiance like starlight comes falling down. Looking up, many of the students see the sunset, the night, and the sunrise all at once. Within that brimming radiance, the dark flames of the earth are extinguished without a sound. Not long after, the silk-threaded shadows also disappear into the dreamlike rain. Ever since, no more trace of the liches could be found in Leithanien spires. Why did it say it like that as past tense? That's not normal for this game to talk about it in past tense. Silk me up, Scotty. God, that was just one stage. Oh, pain. And I'm supposed to get this done by Monday. This unfinished... I don't even know what... Fuga? Has no ending. Just as the dark conspiracies have not reached their conclusion. Will you be okay finishing this event by... Yeah. Thank you, Windows Defender. Oh. I suppose it's not been 2 hours yet. Oh, this song. The rising of the Urtika's secret chamber destroyed the original plate. Oh, there we go. So it is a moving city. Of Ludwig's Universität. Coupled with the influence of Herkenthorn's arts, the school can no longer function normally. For now, the Empress's voice have taken over the cleanup operation from the Genmary. Unaffected students and faculty have been relocated to neighbouring Ostendorfhof. Man, we should have won harder. The cleanup will take about a week. Thereafter, they will be able to return to the campus. No need. Ludwig Universität's library will be relocated to... and fall under the purview of the Rijksmuseum. Yeah, that's a word I can say. The other campuses and faculties will be merged into the... Oh, they're just making shit up now. The Rijkskunst... The Rijkskunst Academy. The Rijkskunst Academy in Backhof. The Gewaltwatcher will be in charge of disposing of all the remaining plates belonging to Urtica. But then Ludwig's Universität will become history. Your Majesty, are you surprised? When I received the summon, you thought I would be Lazalet. My apologies. You did well. Lazalet thinks very highly of you. Dankatron, Your Majesty, if you hadn't graced us with your presence yesterday, it's behind us. No need to speak of it again. Your Majesty, there is another thing. Oh? Arturia, the wanted Sancta rather. I bumped into her, and she mentioned my father. I would like to know if she had something to do with his death. If you would permit me... We've been over this, Hochberg. The case of the Witch King's remains stealing a copy of the Golden Gazette has been closed. Brand, Your Majesty, you are here as well. Have you come to see Cora? She is currently rehearsing the Golden Gazette. The delay caused by the Witch King's remains have us all worried about tomorrow's performance. Rest assured, the movement is flawless at all times. Cora said the same. How long have you gone without a break? Why not take a vacation after the celebration? You could go back to Sturmland together, not as a Reichsorchestra, or yeah, orchestra. No, wait. Why is the E and R the wrong way around? I don't know. Tuna and Gesatzwatscher, but as Cora and Brandt. That is Reich Orchestra. I feel like I'm missing a letter there. Isn't it Ari? Orchestra. I'm pain. Maybe that was the reason why I didn't read it properly last time. Or is it It's not orchestra, is it? No, it's orchestra. Oh, I'm now beginning to completely lose concept of all words, English and German. Orchestra is the German word. Right, okay. I mean, okay, of course it's a German word because it's all German word there, but still. I think it just threw me off a bit. This is a reward, not a punishment. For mopping up the Witch King's remains, you and Viviana have done fine work, and I've taken notice. Just remember that opportunity does not last forever. Some things must be said before it is too late. Thank you, Your Majesty, for the reminder. And another thing, I'll need at least 20 Gesatzwatscher for tomorrow's celebration. What? Does Grimace know about this? Every year, Das Kaiserinnenfest begins with Reich Orchestra's performance of the Goldenes Gewand, and ends with my duet with Hildegard. I wonder, this year, will the people still appreciate our performance? I have no doubt, Your Majesty. Could I ask you a question, Brandt? By all means. Assume your most prized possession has a crack in it. Would you turn a blind eye to it, pretend you didn't notice? You're going to leave Zwillingstürme? Sorry, why did I... Yes, Michael is now cosplaying as Executor. They just had to use Reich. Is there something wrong with Reich? Arturia is under control. I will return to Laterano and report to His Holiness, the Pope. We will subsequently seek formal legal cooperation from Leithanien. Alright, but I should remind you, tomorrow is Das Kaiserinnenfest. Zwillingstürme will be very lively. Young people from other regions, even other countries, will all join in the merrymaking. Correct. I had noticed an increase in foot traffic. And so, I want to ask, Herr Executor, won't you stay just one more day? Please, there's still like 4 or 5 chapters left, or stages. Please explain why I had to do that. Reich is like Reich in Königreich Kingdom, though in English, kind of bad touch thanks to Third Reich. Well, yeah, but to be fair though, Third Reich was an English name, like it was written in a book or by an American or something like that, if I remember correctly. So it's technically not Germany's fault. But also the Second Reich, we know that one. That's was that the which one was the second one? The first I think was Holy Roman Empire, and the second is pre-World War II. The third technically didn't exist. It was just a name that the Allies made up. I want to say, unless I've read it wrong, but I vaguely remember that being like just a thing that was in a book. And then it sort of became the norm. Although then again, they do talk about the 1,000 year, so maybe it was a mix of both. History classes is a bit too far ago for me. Same for me, unfortunately. The last time I did history was in year 9, so 14, 15? So, oh fucking Christ, a decade ago. Oh. Ugh. Okay. Arturi has been apprehended. The copy of the Golden Gazette has been recovered, and the Witch King's remains have been more or less wiped out. It seems like everything's all taken care of. We're halfway through. Feeling old yet? Yes, I don't like using the word decade. But I can't shake this uneasy feeling that we're only halfway through the event. Grimace says I have a unique sense of danger. I mean, of course, it might just be my imagination. For matters pertaining to internal Leithanien affairs, I suggest you confer with your Empress. She's been too busy to see me today. So that's why you have time to escort me out of the city. I had assumed this was an official duty. Duty? No, it's not my duty to monitor you. And, having come all the way to Zwillingstürme, wouldn't you like to stay a bit longer? Make some new friends, see the sights. Friends and sights. Are you looking at that coffee shop? I swear if Beagler is there. I could try the drink Loris recommended before I leave. What, the beer? Oh, you! Herr Sancta. You are Julia's brother, Jan. Do you work at this coffee shop? Yeah, I need to save money so I can study abroad when I'm ready. I thought I'd never see you again. I've heard that the executives of the Lateran Notoria Hall carry out the wills of Lateran citizens, is that right? An acceptable summary. And you also solve cases? So long as it's part of a binding document, I will do everything in my power to carry it out. Oh, is he going to do a binding document with this kid now? PS3 is now considered retro, right? No, don't remind me of that. Okay, I'm gonna waste some time now and go into my Twitter. I won't be able to show you guys, but I'm gonna list it. I was on Netflix earlier, and it was saying, look at these retro shows. And, oh, I can't find it now. I can't find it. It was, look at these retro shows, and it was like Avatar, The Last Airbender. It was, oh, where is it? I posted it myself. Oh, I can't find it now. But it was literally like shows that I grew up with, and I'm like, no, they're not retro. They can't be. I refuse. Is it? Damn. Huh. It just isn't there. How curious. But yeah, it was literally like Avatar: The Last Airbender and oh, what else was it? It was something else. It was another show that I used to watch quite a lot. Like it might have been something like Grey's Anatomy. Just those shows. Sailor Moon. Oh no, Sailor Moon was before my time. That was early 90s, I think. Or maybe it was mid 90s. But no, it was stuff that was released during the 2000s and 2010s, like early. But it was just like retro. I'm like, no, that's not retro. It can't be. I refuse. And yeah, the younger me. I am 25. Sailor Moon is already well beyond retro. No, because that's what I consider retro. You can't do this to me. Anyway, wunderbar. Loris left me a key before he died. He said there were clues about my sister's case in his house. But I'm not a detective after all, and wasn't sure who to give the key to. See, now, when I think of retro games, bear in mind, I still think of Castlevania. Someone once told me that Modern Warfare 2 was retro, and I did not like that. I did not like it one bit. Especially because that's 2008? This is the residence of Loris Borden. This is a home in Zwillingstürme. You've barely known Borden for an afternoon, and you've already... And you left his entire... and you... Oh, and he left you his entire house? Oh, there we go. That's what it is. Still, shut up. What he left me are clues to a case. Look, the wall, the table, the drawers, everywhere. These are all clues regarding Julia Schuler, rather. The girl who disappeared over 10 years ago. And a letter. Loris claimed to have accepted defeat, but actually, he never gave up on the case. I almost forgot that you're a case-solving machine. Even if they made you a graph and granted you the tallest spire in Zwillingsturmhof, you'd hardly blink, would you? A false premise, that is. There is no precedent for a Lateran saint being conferred to a title by another country. And what do you have to do with Lateran sainthood? Are you suggesting that you, her executor, bear the title of saint? Yes. Like the founders of the popes. And the popes, rather. I am unclear on what you mean by like in this context, but normally, yes. I may need to re-evaluate our need to monitor you, her saint. You are an executor to an empress. I had assumed you had some familiarity with my background. I thought I did too. Do not worry. Whether or not I hold the title of saint is not particularly relevant to my work in Leithanien. Anyone here who knows the, religious mumbo-jumbo, are there such things as living saints, or were saints always dead people? Or people in history that were just given the title of saint? Anyway, my executorial duty is to capture Arturia, as well as executing the wills of Lateran citizens. As the Arturia case is on temporary hold, fulfilling the will of Loris Borden is my next objective. Was that hesitation? I've never seen you hesitate before. I still have questions about the Arturia case. What questions? I need to think. Federico looks at the piano to the side of the room. Like most Leithanians, Loris had musical instruments in his home. However, judging from the many files and folders on its bench, he did not play the piano often. Simply tap the black and white keys in a certain rhythm, and a melody will be created. People have taken such immediate feedback for granted, yet there are still many questions that, once sprouted, are pushed away unanswered. I like this. This is a nice piece of art. The piece you just played, also props to them for having actually playing a bit of music that is recognisable. Is it the one from yesterday at Ludwig Universität? Der Tod des Hexenkönigs. Arturia interpreted the emotions of Loris Borden and Brant Reiner, as well as the others who witnessed the Witch King's demise. He turned their strongest feelings into notes, creating this piece. Canonization is the declaration of a deceased person as an officially recognized saint, Right, so you do have to be dead to be a saint, I'm guessing. Specifically, the official act of risking and declaring a person worthy of public veneration and entering their name in the canon catalogue of saints. Or authorized. Okay, interesting. Or authorized list of that. I wonder if there are still saints. As in, like, if there are people in the modern day that get listed as saints. I want to know what she discovered in these emotions. The notes may be the same, but the feeling are so different. Herr Executor, are you and Arturia really related by blood? If misplaying an instrument were a crime, you might well be arrested as soon as you step out the door. Oof. I was wondering what that face was, and yeah. It did kind of sound like he was... It sounded like when the little kid first tries playing, what's it called, Ferashaka? Oh, I now completely messed up that word, but you know. I forgot what it's called. I did not play a single note wrong. But there was no emotion whatsoever. You can't grasp music by memorizing its rules. You have to, picture the emotion it conveys. For example, Loris Borden. You have become to him. Imagine the night he charged. Or you have to become him. Where did I get the two there? I missed the two. Imagine the night he charged into the Witch King's spire. Picture how he became a hero. How crestfallen he was by Yulia's case, and... Oh? Oh, that's interesting. They've sort of changed the... When you're finally forced to doubt yourself, and find yourself wavering, lost, like me, you'll realise that you need a strength, a reason. And that's when you'll discover that the law offers no guidance. There we go. Man is imagining. He literally starts playing Imagine by, I was going to say the Beatles, but that's wrong. By, because it's only by one of them. Oh my god, what's his name? How can I forget his name? He is literally the Beatle. Oh, okay, whatever. Was Italian Roman Catholic. Oh yes, that's recent. Anyway. Why do barriers never cease to be? Is mankind doomed to never understand one another? Tiniest chaos is enough to shatter the order. The moment confusion envelops, people begin to hurt one another. Clement... Oh yeah, Clement was him. Right. John Lennon. Yay! Thank you, Christmas. Oh, damn. Evangelista. Each era has its own trials and tribulations, for which we can only prepare to the best of our ability. It is certain, however, that you have been chosen because it believes that you have the ability to respond to the unknown. You are well aware that there is another besides yourself, very unique among the Sancta. Bring her back, if possible. I need to meet with her face to face. Fede, your whole life, you have been different from all the others. Can you really not see everything I see in the music? Thanks to Grimace, both my ears and my soul have been saved. A failed attempt, I take it. Let's not try that again. We have to acknowledge that some people simply lack the talent for music. Yes, I cannot empathize with Loris or anyone else, nor do I see the illusions created by the notes. But I do have realized that emotions are also information. But I do... But I have realized that emotions are also information. What do you mean by that? As you said, Arturia's performances are completely different from mine. The notes arranged in order have no inherent meaning, but with added emotion, they become a piece of music beloved by your people. And so, I have come to understand that emotion is a kind of additional information. Arturia played her music, playing the hearts of Loris and others, to extract information from their powerful emotions rather, and even they themselves could not retrieve. That, rather. This is something only Arturia can do. Her objective has not yet been achieved, nor will she abandon it. There will be even greater chaos in the coming days, here in Zwillingstürme. Well, yes, exactly, we're only halfway through. Are you certain? I could spend time explaining the finer logic to you, but I assess that you will find it difficult to share my thought process. As such, I suggest you consider my conclusion a kind of intuition. Her executor, there is someone you should see. She can help you. Congratulations, you're about to be rid of me. What, I shouldn't say such things? What would you rather hear? Mockery, anger, curses, or a seemingly invincible enemy pulled straight from the story begging for mercy before their departure from the stage? Don't forget, you wanted to see me. Whenever you have doubts, you unconsciously seek out my voice. You want to hear me deny you, and then, in denying me, you can win some silly comfort for yourself. It is not I who needs you, you need me. Bloodline of Utica, Franz, Ebenholz. Without me, what does your future hold? It's done. What do you mean? What's done? I've removed the voice of mundane from your head. But nothing happened. Is that it? It could never summon the Genesis horn in the first place. It's like watching a crowd of people nervously gathering to light a fuse and blow Zwillingstürme up, only to hear a soft pop like a Gloompincer's depressing fart. But didn't you say the melody of the Witch King could open the door to the Genesis horn? Yes, the right melody. Do you think you can open a locked door with any old key? Don't compare my research on Herkenthorn with a pile of rubbish they stuffed into your brain. Those idiots and their infected bombing couldn't manage a thing. Ha, the voice of mundane. Do the people who come up with this stuff even know the difference between a proper creation and belch? Was it your heart who filled your heads with all this? Would you mind if I dug him up and knocked him around a bit more? But they told me the voice of mundane housed the Witch King's avatar. Avatar? Avatar? That'd be like me rolling my soul into a ball and tossing it into an amphitheatre beneath the spire for all you stupid lambs to kick about. You really think that can be done? I mean, we were getting very close with Kreider. I mean, what exactly was he at that point? That's enough, boy. I'm in a bad mood, and a positively rotten one. I thought by doing one last favour to Grimace I'd be able to take my things and finally be rid of this wretched place. Who'd have thought those masked morons would make a fool of me? No, they made me a whole circus. Wait, did he really just do the whole "you're not a clown, you're the whole circus"? That was subtle, Hypergriff, I'll give you that. I should have Ermengarde look me over. See if a Lich's age has any effect on his brain. He said, the voice of mundane is just noise. It is certainly a melody left by the Witch King, that's true, but Jihad and his men misunderstood its power. It isn't the key to the Witch King's legacy. Then, what about the voice in my head? I don't understand the arts behind it. The problem of the voice of mundane has been resolved. You may still suffer headaches and hallucinations, but I expect they won't be so bad going forward. Just to be safe, you should stay here and rest a while, then leave Zwillingstürme after das Keines Innenfest. So, the voice is just my imagination then? All these years, and all of my struggles were just in my head, in a somewhat more figurative sense. Apparently, I've nothing whatsoever to do with any grand plans of those lofty conspirators. And to speak of killing myself before I went mad, I've been mad all along. Well, same thing. I still don't believe this fully, because it clearly is something tangible. It literally turned Greider into a monster, so there has to be something there. I don't have time to discuss this with you. Right. Your grandfather says that the rubbish in my head tainted the research on Herkumshorn, so why care about me, an inferior product? Particularly after we've known that none of his power lies within me. I can't summon a catastrophe cloud with a wave of my hand, nor can I cleave a spire with a swing of a sword. What do you want? The power is still there. Since you removed the voice of mundane, why not kill me? The voice of mundane is not the key, meaning I'm of no use to the twin empresses. Why not burn me and mine... Well, why not burn me and mine to ashes? Like all the experiments of the Witch King era. Because there is no need? Is that it? Then what about my brother? He died. He died because of a stupid plan, like, to borrow a phrase, like a gloom hints of depressing fart. Such nonsense, such irony. He was grateful, you know, right up until he died. Grateful for our meeting. Grateful for the instructor who taught him the cello. But our meeting was exploited by Gertrude. The teacher he admired was mixed up with the Witch King's remains. Huh. And now you tell me the voice of mundane was all a wacky misunderstanding this entire time. So we lived, died, met, parted, all for what? Where was the meaning in any of it? Alright, if you want an answer, I'll tell you. You're right, there was no meaning in any of it. Set aside the Urtica name. Without the voice of mundane, you're nothing but a self-absorbed, self-harming, and self-destructive empty shell of a pretty boy. Okay, you're the one saying that. Perfect, you finally did it. Now take up your arts unit. Why not unwrap the bandages of your sword? That would make this execution go much even smoother. Hello, cat. The man before me is unworthy. Even now, you just have to humiliate. Then fight back. Prove me wrong by your actions. Head into bed. Okay, I'll cuddle. Have a good sleep. Like Raph in Full Metal Alchemist. Man, I need to rewatch Full Metal Alchemist. Ugh. You loathe the bloodline of the Witch King, but have you ever sought out the victims of his persecution? To make amends? To help them? To compensate them? You loathe the title of Graf Urtica, but have you ever looked looked into the safety of the commoners. Taken note of the decline of your domain, caught between the twin empresses and the Witch King remains. You lament being the only survivor, but you have not been cherishing the life ahead of you. Instead, you constantly throw yourself into danger. You say that you're a prisoner of the Spire, but who, in the end, has never looked beyond his cage at anyone else? Yeah, I kind of feel like he's bonking with the thing end. That is Cursed Cat. Good night. Lessing's sword moves so quickly that dodging is nearly impossible. He's rarely spoken so many words in one breath. None of that was in any way his fault. You're right, it was not his fault. But the point is not so much that it's his fault, but rather he blames himself for it, or that he feels the negative stuff of it, and yet has done nothing about it anyway. Basically, is saying you keep wallowing in self-pity. That's mainly the point of it. He's not necessarily saying that he's done this stuff, but rather he thinks he's done this stuff, yet he's done nothing about it anyway, sort of thing. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. At first, Ebenholz had no intention of dodging, but almost instinctively the Originium dice floats into the air, arcs pour out uncontrollably like fiery rage. Yeah, definitely cursed. Blood, title, duty, everything was forced upon me by fate. I tried. I stood against it. And in the end, you tell me there was never any need to. Why? Why did I have to go through all this when I'm nobody at all? Lessing's sword presses against Ebenholz's throat. The Originium dice fall to the side. The battle is over. The outcome, a surprise to no one. Our fight against fate never belongs to any of us, and so, what does the suffering we've endured even count for? I never received a noble's education, and I don't throw around words like fate. I only know that all the suffering is real. I've seen street hawkers beaten by the gendarmerie in the alleys. I've seen old men freeze to death on the roadside after losing their farmland to rural nobility. They'll never see the Witch King, the Twin Empresses, or a Thurston in their life. They'll never have the time or energy to contemplate fate, suffering, or meaning. That's life in the shadows of the spires. For the great masses of Leithanien. No one can overcome an abstract concept. If you want revenge, choose a concrete target. The Witch King, the Twin Empresses, the still living remnants. We fight to survive, and we don't stop until our own blood, or that of our enemies, runs dry. Fight. The Witch King's legacy still exists, wherever it is. Enemies shrouded in darkness may find it at any moment, and use it to unleash suffering on the great masses once again. You can stay in the spire and continue lamenting your fate, or you can challenge me again and die by my hand. Or you can join me in seeking the Witch King's legacy, help me find the true culprit, who may still be alive in some form. Choose. Ebenholz feels the sword against his throat, still wrapped in bandages. Were it not wrapped, he would have smelled blood. Of course, this does not mean that Lessing can't kill him. The weapon's expression is cold, the warrior's expression rather, but his eyes burn with anger. Why is he angry? Why does he still have expectations for a man like him? Would you kindly pass my arts unit? Why aren't they here? Frau Hochberg, what is it you're looking for? Sketches. Frieda Siemens' drawings. Since Herr Reiner and I left, has anyone else been in this room? No No suspicious individuals, Madame. After you and Herr Gesatzwatscher left, the Imperial casters carefully inspected the entire alley. After confirming no traces of the Witch King's remains, and no dangerous witchcraft or items, they left. Are the drawings you're looking for involved in some important case? A case? Viviana recalls Grimace's words. The case of the Witchberg... Of the Witchberg? Of the Witch King's remains. Stealing a copy of the Gazette... The Golden Gazette... whatever, has been closed. No. It's merely personal. Frau Siemens' work is incredibly beautiful. It always evokes some marigold memories in me. The German word is destroying Karma's ability to read. Yeah, it's exactly like what happened in Kazimierz with Polish. Please don't alert the others, though. I don't want too many people to know I've been here. Of course, rest assured, the Gendarmerie will never disclose your movements. Oi! You're supposed to be muted. Okay. Because I'm assuming it's her music, because that's what happens before with the silhouettes. So lovely. Marigolds, sunlight. Such beautiful things tend to inspire creativity and nurture emotion. No wonder so many Leithanien artists love this alley. Werner von Hochberg, he was obsessed with it until the day he died. Might you be Frau Yalo? Weren't you taken away by Grimace's casters? I'm certainly not here. And you didn't really bump into your father back there either. This is all your imagination. Is this an effect of your arts? You're rather skilled in Originium arts yourself. What do you think? I haven't noticed anything unusual. People often misunderstand my arts. The truth is, I can't do very much at all. People are just ignorant of their own hearts. Or even if they do know, they're unwilling to face themselves. Looks like a picture of a travel prospect for some Mediterranean area. You say that, but I do see some areas of Central Europe in it. Maybe if it was less sunny, if it was a bit more grey, but I see what I would expect from places like Warsaw before it was flattened. Maybe Dresden? It could also be like southern Germany, perhaps, which would be a little bit more closer to Mediterranean. But to be honest with you, I actually wouldn't consider this very Mediterranean, at least not very Spanish. It would be more maybe Italy, but I don't know. There's a certain style to it, but again, it sort of seems a bit more central. I told you the first time we met, my melodies resonate with the emotions deep inside a human heart. And once they ripple, they are hard to ignore. It's you who wants to change your father's fate. The one talking to you now, well, I'm afraid it's you yourself. France also looks a bit like France. Is that so? You yearn to know the cause of your father's death. You fear that the conspiracy of the Witch King's remains is not yet true. You suspect that the farce performed at Ludwig's Universität was just a diversion. You wonder if perhaps the Kaiserinnen wanted to kill the Kurfürst. 9. Ah, but you see, you can't hold back on the birth of this fort. If your father were standing here, what would he do? My father? He wouldn't do anything. He would accept fate's plan and turn away. Even though he would go on to live with endless pain and regret. And so what about you? Would you do the same? He and I... Raugiala? Oh. Do not mistaken me... Do not mistake me for that distant relative of mine. There is no need for you to brandish your arts unit in my direction. This whole area is encircled by Leithanien's finest gendarmerie. Who are you, Her Sancta? I am an executive... I work with Michael. Michael is a good boy, I guess. I guess I can trust you. I read that wrong at first. I was going to say Michael is a good boy, I guess. And I was thinking, you guess? Well, that went surprisingly well. At Michael's suggestion, I would like to provide a clue regarding Arturia. What is it? There is a high probability that she is planning an even more serious incident. Senora Viviana von Hochberg, it is my hope that we can cooperate and put a stop to her plans. I probably should continue, really. If I want to get this done. Yeah. Yeah. Boop, boop. Stop knocking on the windowsill. Are you trying to send a secret message? As you can see, I am unable to play my cello because it's been arts locked. It is uncomfortable. Unless you would care to join me for a chat. Absolutely not. Very well then. I suppose I'll have to wait for another guest. Try anything funny and we'll bind your arms and legs with arts. My apologies, but Grimace has forbidden anyone from meeting with Arturia. Not even an Empress's voice. No exceptions. And what about Lizolette's envoy? Lizolette sent you? Was that not clear enough? Now this is a surprise. Yeah, I'd have thought they had to put her into some sort of coma. To think you'd be the first to come and see me. This is the second time we've met, Arturia. Oh, more than that, I would think. How many times have we met in The Sound of Music? I don't remember either of you in that movie. I see your words are as mysterious as your music, and yourself. Me? Mysterious? Oh, on the contrary, I'm far more open and frank than most. So an Empress's voice, a paragon of law and order, has come to meet with a dangerous felon alone, even going as far as to fake an Empress's orders to do so. That must have taken quite a bit of determination. You knew I wasn't sent by Lisolette? There's nothing she could possibly want to ask me, but you, Viviana, your face is full of question marks. So, what would you like to know from your former enemy? Allow me to guess. You want to know the truth behind your father's death? Yeah. That said, I am not used to answering questions. Do I need to offer you something in exchange? A trade? How about you simply open yourself up to me and allow me to search your heart? That's... Oh, pardon my impertinence. Then let's tell a story together, as usual. I love how her hair looks like she has wings. I mean, she has wings, but her hair looks like crow's wings to a certain extent. Once upon a time... Also, this is amazing artwork. Once upon a time, there was a child who lived on top of a tower in the middle of a storm. Until the age of 9, she never left her little room in the tower. You know my... Oh, don't give me that look. Like I said, this is simply a story we're telling together. Imagine that you're a part of it and reach out to yourself. She looks really cool with her hands behind her back like that as well. Very well. Tell me, what is it about the tower that left the deepest impression on the child? The window. It was a small room. The window was small too. You could reach out and touch the cold, wet clouds. The storms rarely abate in Sturmland, do they? Yeah, dark lightning often knocked at the window rather. My mother would hold me, telling stories and reading me poems in a soft, gentle voice. What about your father? One night a week, he would come to the spire where I lived, bringing me books and teaching me to play instruments. You looked forward to these meetings. Did you leave your room and wait for him at the top of the staircase when it was almost time? When I was little, but I stopped. What happened? The skies were very dark that day. It had been a long time my father's last visit. I was out of candles and wanted to find some, so I went further than I usually did. I saw so many children and adults. The music combined with their laughter was louder than thunder. That's when you realised that not every child had to stay in their room like you did. That they could hold their parents' hand and dance and sing to their heart's delight. Yeah. Did you see your father there? Did you look for him? I wanted to, but my mother pulled me back. She covered my eyes and tried to cover my ears too. Wait, oh, I read it the other way round. It hurt a bit, but I didn't dare say anything. She brought you back to your little room. Did you look up? Nine. I kept my eyes closed. I heard my mother crying, but I didn't dare look at her. Didn't dare? Yeah, I didn't dare go down the stairs. I didn't dare look for my father anymore. I never looked up again. Even after my mother passed away, when my father sent me away from the spire. Why not? My father was a Kurfürst, and he and my mother weren't married. My existence was a secret that would hurt my mother and make things difficult for my father if anyone found out. No, that's not what I'm asking. How did you feel? Me? You were the one trapped in the spire. You were the one forbidden to recognise your father. You were the one who watched your mother waste away. You were the one you were the one sent away from home. When you went to Kazimierz and decided to become a knight, you held a sliver of expectation. After all, the stories of your childhood, the stories about knights, had long been your source of comfort. But you soon realised that they were no more a puppet of the General Chamber of Commerce. Even your childhood in the Spire was boiled down to an exotic label, the Leithanien, an advertisement destined to sell in the markets of both countries. You left the arena after getting on the wrong side of the KGCC. You thought you would finally have some peace and quiet, only to be summoned back to Leithanien by a letter from your father. Ugh. Once again, you find your fate written by another. Illegitimate child, competition knight, empress's voice. You never chose any of these identities. And it all started on that spire at the top of those stairs. You're right. It's been so many years, but sometimes I feel like I'm still there. Like I never left it. Once again, I think back to the memory that left the deepest impression. That day, when your father took your hand and descended the seemingly endless stairs, you didn't look up. I couldn't. If I did, he would see the tear stains on my face and the tears in my eyes. Anger. I already lost my mother. Why are you pushing me away like this? Yeah, I had nothing. They abandoned me. I already lost my mother. Why did I have to lose my father too? Why couldn't you have waited in Marigold Alley just a little longer? Why did you write for me to come back, only to leave me again once I returned with hope in my heart? Arturia does not answer. She simply gazes at Viviana, at the ripples in the lake of her eyes. If silence can be considered an expression of sound, no, she's a medic, then their emotions could resonate even without a melody. Anger, frustration, pain, the same emotions reflected in Arturia's eyes. She sighs and awakens the dreamer from her memory with gentle words. That's enough story time. First Werner was my friend, Viviana. Our meeting was so ordinary that it's hardly worth mentioning. He was a high noble, but also a sensitive and romantic artist. We often spoke about music. A few months ago, his envoy found me while I was travelling. He knew his days were numbered. This is basically the other event. All he wanted was to see his beloved again, through my music. He wanted to see Mother. Not just Lucinda, but you as well. Werner did reminisce about his romance with Lucinda, but he spent even more time in that little room on the spire. Those nights with you and your mother were his only comfort in those painful early days as a Kurfürst. That's how I knew your story. So it wasn't... No, I did not use arts on you. I'd already met you countless times through Werner's mind's eye. You must hear this often, but you really are so much like your father. I know. But it was only when I saw you in person that I realised you're more than just that flickering candle. More than what? You're so much stronger, so much tougher than a candle flame. Now, I've told you everything I could. Kurfürst Werner died over the copy of the golden thingamajig. On that matter, you know as much as I do. You told me he knew his end was coming, which means he knew how he would die. Correct. Protecting the thing was his vow to the twins, and his duty as a Kurfürst of Sturmland. Whether it was the movement or his loss, rather, not his boss. No, its loss, rather. Whatever. The responsibility and blame lie solely on Sturmland. Only by giving his life for it could he protect his loved ones and House Hotberg, all while ridding himself of a ticking time bomb. It was all for... It was all for the goldenness of the thing. I think I understand. One last bit of advice. To thank you for your trust and sincerity. When I first saw you, I also saw the shadow behind you. But now, it's growing, filling the entire staircase outside. Danke, Arturia, for the answers. My dear Viviana, how pitiable, how noble. Would he be swallowed by the shadow? Phew, made it. You move so quickly, Herr Eric. I could hardly keep up. Pardon my excitement. I thought I wouldn't be able to leave Sturmland, but the Empress's voice delayed the visit. Kurfürst and successor ceremonies rarely take this long, not since the reign of the Witch King. Stop worrying. While in Zwillingsturm, what could be more important than seeing their majesties? Hurry, and we may even secure a seat closer to the Twin Spires before anyone else arrives. Hey, why is that man not moving? Guten Tag? Are you here for Das Kaiser's Innenfest too? I suppose so. Where is your instrument then? What are you going to do for the ensemble? The ensemble? The ensemble of the golden thing, golden glow. I don't know. Golden melody. The most important part of the ceremony, bathing in the glory of both the golden melody and Leithanien. I have to go now. We'll catch the VOD later. See you later. Okay, see you later, Les. This is my master's first time attending. I have his flute with me. Ah, of course. Do forgive my nosiness. Which Kreis do you hail from? Does it matter? Oh no, I don't mean to pry. Only that it's customary for those from the same Kreis to stand together. I see. Please go ahead. We will follow. Oh, very good then. I mean, danke, mynheer. May Grimace's glory and Laserlet's blessings orbit you like the sun. Huh. Ah, okay. So they believe the sun orbits... Interesting. I was not expecting that. Unless they mean they orbit you like you're the sun, but that doesn't quite work in that sentence. The way it's written would imply that they mean... They probably mean as in orbit as if he's the sun. But it doesn't quite mean it in the way that they wrote it. The way that it was written makes it sound as if he's implying that the sun orbits, which would be interesting if that's what they actually believe. Seeing the Twin Empress's spires for the first time. The white dress of Laserlet, the Eternal Grace. The black blade of Grimace, the austere authority. Why does my voice sound different? Their two spires resemble them so very much. The twin spires are Zwillingström's namesake. They're the pride of Leithanien. And no matter how beautiful, they're no more than two elaborate cages. An apt metaphor. Das Kaiser Innenfest. They say it's for all Leithaniens, but only nobles are allowed to join in the ensemble at the amphitheatre. Isn't amphitheatre spelt with an... No. That's spelt differently to how I know it. It is, in effect, a performance of an art ritual. Ritual? Did you see the bridge connecting the spires? That's where the twin empresses play every year. The sound of the pipe organ and violin are amplified by the resonance between the buildings, spreading to every corner of Zwillingsturm. So it's some kind of arcs. Of course it is, you're in Leithanien. The old man told me that it's the work of Herkumshorn. He turned Verdunine into a massive arts device, with the bell tower of Weinsorf at the centre. and the twin empresses have built upon the Witch King's arts. To avoid making the same mistake as him, they set the twin spires as the centre of the resonance, effectively tuning the entire city and making it virtually impossible to assail the spires from the outside. Should be correct in German. Oh, okay, so it's just like with orchestra, I'm just not I recognize it enough to think that it's English, and then think that they're misspelling it. Because for me, amphitheatre, I believe, is with an E, not an I think. Anyone wanting to attack the Kaiserinnen will either need to destroy the entire palace area where the spires are located, or work from within. Spoken like someone who's given some thought to planning such an attack. Wait, don't tell me you actually... If we see the Gendarmerie or Empress's voice, remind me to run faster than you. Quiet. The celebration is about to begin. People are coming to try and blend into the crowd. Oh, try to blend into the crowd. Don't just stand there like earlier. What about when the ensemble begins? We didn't bring any instruments, unless that sword is a fair bit more versatile than it looks. If the ensemble begins. Oh. I met that distant relative of yours. Exactly as you predicted, she offered a generous lead. Perhaps we really are trapped in some kind of illusion they created. What if the Witch King's remains aren't trying to use the golden thing as... to get to the Witch King's legacy, but to use the Witch King's powers to tamper with it? What if their goal has never truly changed? What are you still doing here, Madame? All the Empress's voices in Zwillingstürme have been summoned to the amphitheatre. Ah, I'll be on my way. This cell holds a dangerous felon, and it is quite far from the amphitheatre. I'll need to contact Grimace's... I would not recommend that. The Sanctor? What's the Sanctor doing here? Let's catch him together, Madame. He may well be in league with Arturia. Sorry. I was about to ask your opinion on how to handle this. So if I weren't here, you would have simply done it yourself? My presence here already violates diplomatic protocol. An additional rule being broken is of little consequence, other than in terms of the subsequent cleanup. You are an Empress's voice. Michael has told me of your circumstances. I appreciate your kind gesture. Huh? It was my own decision to visit Arturia. I didn't want my father's death to be meaningless. I didn't want to keep my head down and pretend nothing had happened. I wanted to fight for something, to finally seize my own fate with my own two hands. You chose to let Arturia perform your heart's music. 9. The melody was always there, echoing in my heart. I chose not to listen to it until now. I believe she's telling the truth that the golden glow thingy-majig is at the heart of the problem. The Imperial casters have recovered a copy of it. However, I learned that Arturia has an accomplice with whom she was in close contact. The available evidence indicates that this person may not have been the mastermind behind the Ludwig's Universität incident. Then we can assume that the Witch King's remnants have already obtained the arts recorded in the copy. The thing will be performed by over 10,000 people at the amphitheatre. I find it hard to believe that there's 10,000 nobles. If the Witch King's remnants are in that crowd, the consequences will be unimaginable. I would like to share our current findings with Michael. Sure. He might be able to persuade Grimace. That's not enough. We must take action ourselves, even without their Majesty's permission. The musicians and instruments are in position, Frau Löwenstein. Very well. Give me a moment while I double-check the application arts. You're back, Amelie. Did you forget something? No need to be nervous. This is your first public performance as part of the orchestra. Just hold your instrument steady and focus on the melody. Pay no mind to anyone watching. Oh, it's you. Adjust the direction of the arcs unit, will you? Turn it counterclockwise, 17 degrees. Yeah, that's how it should sound. But why are you here at this hour? Is Laserlet still concerned about the effect on the performance? Frau Löwenstein, where are the other musicians? At the amphitheatre. The performance of the Golden Thing will begin in 10 minutes. The Reichsorchestra needs a good start under the direction of the Kaiserin. Only 10 minutes. The Kaiserin's weathercasters have forecasted the exact time of today's sunset. As per custom, the performance of the Golden Thing will conclude just as the last rays fade. The rehearsal schedule has been hard, but we'll be able to rest once we get through this evening. No nobles, 10,000 drunk Leithanians in a soccer stadium. Oh, so basically like almost every summer in Spain. With all of the Leithanian tourists. You too, Viviana. I've been thinking you'll need to find a long-term residence in Zwillingstürme if you remain by the Kaiserin's side when this is all over. Would you like to stay at my place? I have a little mansion in. You don't put little and mansion in the same word. If it's little, it's not a mansion. It'd be a villa. Anyway, I have a little mansion in Backhoff. I don't know. Backhoff. I don't know. Whatever. I just had the walls repainted. Brandt planted some vines, which he says goes well with the walls, but to be honest, I'd like a second opinion before I commit. Must be a nice view with the 10,000 towels placed in advance. No, but seriously, why do Germans do that? And it is only Germans. I've never seen any other tourist do this. Why is it always... Is it some cultural thing of, like, you know, putting something in place in order to let someone know that you'll be using it later? Like, is there something there? Because it's only... You don't see the British do it. You don't see Scandinavians do it. I just don't know. Anyway, Frau Löwenstein, Clara? Where did the L come from? Yeah, what is it? How might one stop the performance of the Golden Thing? Why do you ask? This performance has been the most important part of Das Kaiserinnenfest for the last 23 years. So many people are waiting in the amphitheatre in front of the spires. I've almost gotten to the bottom of these tragedies. I'm sure the enemy's plan has something to do with the Golden Thing. They cannot be allowed to succeed. And how did you learn of this? Have you told Laserlet? I don't know who to trust. I can't stop thinking about who killed my father. You suspect their majesties? You're an Empress's voice, Viviana. Who's there? A friend. He's keeping watch. The Empress's casters are coming. So soon? It will take more than 10 minutes to neutralize them. The performance of the Golden Thing is about to begin. Don't fight them. I'll be with you, Viviana, no matter what you do. You believe me? Do you even need to ask? Besides, I can't let you put yourself in danger. You want to stop the Reich Orchestra from playing the Golden Thing, right? I'll take you there. They've gone out. What? The candles on the stairs. The room is so much darker now, don't you think? What are you doing? Stay away from the door. There are less people out there now. Have they gone after that lovely Empress's voice? Frau Hochberg is suspected to have fallen under your influence. She will be taken into custody until the conclusion of the celebration. It was a mistake to allow her to meet with you. A mistake, you say? You knew the new Empress's voice was the daughter of a Kurfürst and had the favour of Leithanien. Compared to working in Grimace's Dark Spire, you clearly show more interest in its twin, the White Spire. So you let the Empress's new favourite come in without proper checks, just to curry favour with her. What are you babbling about? But you soon realised the danger. Let me guess, Viviana did something unbefitting of her status after she left, didn't she? Now you're afraid. Grimace and her executors will not tolerate such gross error. You will lose any chance of promotion, perhaps even your freedom. So, why did you make it a second mistake then? What? Music? How could this be? Grimace, please, Nine, spare me. I can't listen. Too late. There are just too many instruments in Leithanien. Your arts units, like your soul, are laid bare before me. You... knocking? You dared not carry your instrument with you in my presence, so you left them outside the door. But, in your haste, you forgot the protective arts. You forgot that vibrations can be transmitted. The tiniest tremor of a string, and you're hearing my music. Well, that's just really powerful, considering the fact you can absolutely not pluck a string through vibrations alone. I feel like the amount of vibrations she would need to make, her knocking would pretty much knock out a wall. But, you know, magic. Check my crown, would you? So much for my remote control joke. Yeah. Your fingers are cold. Sorry, how about this? That better? You've been clutching your sword all day. Its chill has rubbed off on you. It's time. We should head to the bridge. Hildegard. Yeah, what is it? Am I pretty today? As always. They actually get along. I was expecting them to butt heads a lot more, to be honest with you. Grimace. Leithanien. Your wolf cub is here. Go first, Leithanien. The people are waiting. We've always walked out onto the bridge together. Nothing is obliged to stay the same forever. I'll find you before the performance begins. So why are you here? I thought you preferred it down below. I have an urgent matter to report. Bring my violin. We'll talk on the way. Nine. Please, you must order the celebration to be halted. The Witch King's remnants are in the crowd, planning a massive attack. Proof? Please, just give me a little time. I'll find the proof. You didn't used to be so brash, Michael. That reckless sanctor has changed you. Federico, the Lateran executor, believes that a larger incident is in the works, and it's something to do with Arturia. We should interrogate her. What does she know about the Golden Thing? Who are her supporters? What are she and her accomplices planning? As long as the performance of the thing can be delayed, I see you believe the celebration to be mere festivity. The Kaiser Innenfest first took place 23 years ago, on the day we killed the Witch King. But there were no empresses and no celebration, only soldiers fallen in battle, and a tired and frightened people. We defeated the Witch King in the early dawn, and spent the next few hours cleaning up his followers. At dusk, Leslie and I descended the spire, walked down its bloody steps, and announced our victory with a duet. Today, the 10,000 people of the ensemble come from every craze, from all four corners of Leithanien. Every Leithanien, every friend of Leithanien, and every enemy of Leithanien has their eyes on the twin spires, on Grimace and Laserlet. And you want me to suspend, even cancel, the ensemble based on a hypothesis of a Lateran executor who has already caused his fair share of trouble in our country? Sounds like Penavoni and its Charmy Festival. Perhaps I expected too much of you. You should have known I would respond like this before you even spoke. And if you truly believed in your judgment, you would have acted on your own. On that account, the daughter of Werner von Hochberg is far more resolute than you. Oh, she already knows. What? How long have you been with me, Michael? Emotional damage? 7 years. Damn. It's time to let you go. What? Why would you say that? There comes a day when one must shoulder the more responsibility for the sake of Leithanien's future. Bring me my violin. It's time I went on to the bridge. The orchestra is 10 meters below us. The sun has painted the clouds red. 3 minutes 50 seconds until the performance begins. I will fire a blank. The noise should cause some of the musicians to scatter and interrupt the performance. The musicians of the Reich Orchestra are all arts masters, each one the equal of an empress's voice. We would be drowned in art the moment you showed an intent to attack. Damn. Is that the I let you go so you actually have more freedom to act trope? I think it definitely was. I think that was a you are no longer part of my office, so go and do your thing. The equivalent of 97 Empress's voices then. Plus 2 squads of approaching casters for a total of 120. I can give you 3 minutes. You must secure the remaining 23 seconds on your own, Senora Hochberg. 3 minutes? But if this is the only way... Delay the casters, leave the rest to me. The shadows of the twin spires stretch as the sun sinks towards the horizon. They swallow up the shadows of the musicians, of Cora, of Viviana herself. She has never felt her power unleashed like this. She is reminded of that flickering candlelight in the spire. It was a tiny flame that only illuminated a corner of the bed, leaving the other corners, the spiral staircase, and the night beyond the spire in total darkness. There was a time when she couldn't admit that the darkness would linger in her eyes longer than that tiny speck of candlelight. Success. I cut off the connection between some of the musicians and their instruments. What's going on? We're being affected by somebody's arts. You, Frau Loewenstein, are you being held hostage? You could say that. 9. I'm sorry, Emily. You're in league with each other. I made my choice, and I will not hesitate. Could you please just put down your instrument for a while? There are fluctuations of arts energy coming from below the twin spires, and some commotion from where the orchestra is. Sorry. The Witch King's remnants. Possibly. Strange. There should be a Gesatzwatcher in the area, but I don't see any. Why? I see. The Kaiser knew that something terrible would happen here. They're prepared to abandon the Twin Spires if necessary. They'll even abandon all the... Mein Herr! You were from Stromland, yeah? Why do you look like someone spooks you? The ensemble is about to begin. Here, I have an extra flute. You can borrow it. Flute? This performance is not to be missed. Nein, you can't be here. Go, leave the amphitheatre. You'd like a better position? I suppose we could squeeze... I'm not... Do you not see these? See what? The dice I'm holding. My arts unit. What are you doing? You'll give yourself away. Does it even matter at this point? Look around. There must be 10,000 people here. No, we can't even worry about that now. All we can do is save as many as we can. Even just one more. It's too loud here. I can't hear a word you're saying. Look at me. I am the captain now. Look at my arts. Do they remind you of anything? I am an Utica. My arts come from the same lineage as him. You should be afraid. Run. Amazing. Do you hear that? The Imperial musicians just played the first note. The performance of the golden thing has begun. The black orb rises from his hand into the air, exploding into a reddish-black shadow. It is quickly buried by even more brilliant rays of arts. Who would have thought that the ceremony that basically cements the death of the Witch King and the rise of the Twin Empresses would pretty much overshadow anything that Ebenholz's arts would do? It seems somewhat poetic in a sense. Also, this looks very pretty. Rays created by various Originium arts interweave in the clouds. Both the melody and the arts come from the people on the ground, all focused on performing the music belonging to Leithanien alone, using instruments that also serve as arts units. Even the buildings resonate with the Twin Spires, turning the empty space around the Kaiserinnen's towers into a true amphitheatre. Damn. The colours penetrating the clouds continue to shift with the splendid melody, as though the crowd is performing the colour of the sunset in the sky. It is a feast of sight and sound woven together by arts, the ultimate expression of Leithanien's classical aesthetics and mastery of her arts. It is a grand spectacle visible from any corner of Zwillingstürme and beyond. Tears begin to fill Ebenholz's eyes. He remembers standing atop the spire of Utica, gazing down at the plate below. There were many bell towers in Grafschaft, which sang every day at dusk. The people would leave their workshops after a long day of work, and the sound of wheels rolling over metallic roads would echo with the music filling the city. He could see the green-black wilderness. If he stood on his toes, Einwald was filled with forests, and caravans brought ripe fruits from the city whenever they were in season. Farmers often amplified their scents with arts to attract customers. He could always smell the best fruits even from his high perch. The maid who sympathised with him would sneak a few back from the market, as long as no other nobles were watching. The fruits were ripe and fresh, unlike the carefully selected, dried and withered fruit served on the long old table. He could not remember what became of the maid. Did she go join her beloved in the south, or did she find a new job at the instrument workshop beneath the spire? And when he left Utica, did he ever look back? Let the dark clouds scatter. Let the morning sun shine. Praise be to Leithanien, home of the free. Somewhere in the distance, a person in Columbia is sneezing. Yes, he had once loved this place from the bottom of his heart. Leithanien, the land of divine music, cradle of the arts. The performance has begun. It sounds so harmonious, even without the strings. There's a theory I've heard, though I've never tried to verify it. The golden thing contains the wheel of Leithanien. It represents order, harmony, and beauty. The golden melody is deeply rooted in the soul of every Leithanien and is not so easily damaged. That sounds like a form of originium art. It shares the same characteristics with our lore, but works on different principles and on a different target. So, the golden melody is actually a kind of complex art affecting the cognition of every Leithanien who hears it. Cast by more than 10,000 people in an ensemble. So we can't disrupt the performance, but what about the enemy? What's their plan? The enemy's plan is undoubtedly the opposite. They want the music to continue, therefore, there is only one place they can be hiding. What are you doing? I put down my cello as you asked. Frau Hochberg and I have not prevented any musician from leaving. Your colleagues are either resisting her arts, or chose to avoid confrontation due to Frau Lovenstein's presence. You are the only one who have stayed behind. Damn. Very astute, Sancta. We have waited far too long to hear the music that truly belongs to Leithanien. The other Witch King's remnants are amongst the musicians. Stay away from them, Cora. Are you crying? Yeah. I'm listening to the golden thing. The movement. It's just so beautiful. It reminds me of how I used to love Leithanien. Damn. Unfortunately, I'm actually going to leave it here. I'm going to cliffhanger and not even do the second part. It's not by design though, I'm actually... Yeah, her face was really sad. Unfortunately, I'm actually feeling really rough. I think allergies have hit me, because my face is just... There's like a really big pressure on my face, so I've been struggling throughout the whole of stage 6. Yeah. So what I'll do then is I'll start with the second part of stage 6 and then do 7 and 8 tomorrow, I'm thinking, and then Monday continue on the next bit. So 3 days of Arknights you guys will be getting. Because I'm feeling a bit too rough to continue. On the bright side, we made decent progress. There's still a chance I can do this. Yeah, you feel really good, that's butchered. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I will leave it here. And 3 days of Arknights, oh boy, is it Christmas? Yeah. Yeah, so some point tomorrow, probably in the evening again, I will do another Arknight stream. I'll try to finish up that bit, and then on the Monday, which will be the last day, I will do the other stuff. The rest of it, I'll finish it up. And that should be it. That should be all that's needed. But until then, though, Santa Claus is here, yeah. Until that, though, thank you guys so much for coming around. It's been fun playing this. I am really liking the story. And I look forward to continuing it tomorrow and Monday. Until then, though, see you next time. Bye-bye.